Hi guys, it's Kelly and you're watching That Smells Divine. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. We talk about fragrance, 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 fragrance. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about my August subscription perfumes, what I received in my Olfactif box, what I received for my Royalty Scents decant, and then also what I received for my Scentbird decant as well. Before we dive into today's video, if this is your first time subscribing, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you like this video if you liked it. And also if you've subscribed, make sure that you hit the alarm bell to receive notifications of future videos. Okay, so let's dive right in. Before we get into today's content, I just want to acknowledge my bare face. I just got a spray tan because I'm going out of town tomorrow. I am so excited. It's gonna be my literal first actual vacation of the entire year. This is coming from someone who used to take frequent like monthly or bi-monthly vacations. But yeah, I'm going to the East Coast. I'm so excited. I'm gonna lay on the beach for a couple of days and yeah, I'm really excited. So needless to say, I'm looking a little orange, and that's because, you know, we got to do this initial thing where we wait for it to kind of set and then I'll rinse it off later. So just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so let's dive right in. I'm gonna start with the Olfactif box today. So Olfactif, you guys know the drill. If you've been watching my channel, I get this every month. I have for a very long time. And I will just come right out and say, before we talk about the individual fragrances, I have canceled my Olfactif subscription for a little bit. I feel like I haven't really been super enthused. As you guys have probably noticed, the past couple of times that I've reviewed my box, I've just kind of been like meh, you know, and that's fine to have like a box or two that I'm just kind of meh, but when it's consistent, I'm rethinking my subscription. Well, I didn't just rethink it. I canceled my subscription for now. That could change, but I'm just going to keep my eye on the website and kind of take a look at what their new releases are. And then if I'm feeling like, you know, re-inspired, maybe I'll jump back in. In this month's Olfactif box, we had 3 fragrances that were very different from each other, which I really appreciate. That's been one of my criticisms of the boxes in the past, is that sometimes you get 3 that are kind of like in the same genre, the same family, you know, and it's kind of like there's no mix up. I sprayed these sample cards like 2 weeks ago when I got this box, and the cards have been shut in the box for the past couple of weeks, and holy smokes, like this is overwhelming, the chokehold. I think I know which one it is. Yeah, so, whew. All right, the very first fragrance we're gonna talk about is Bobo by CARNER Barcelona. I have a hard time saying that. Now, this is the one that's choking me out currently. I wanted to love this so bad, and spoiler alert, I just don't. It just smells generic to me. So, So as you know, Olfactif includes a story with each of their fragrances. So I'm going to read you the story, I'm going to read you the keynotes, and then we're just going to talk about it. I'm not taking any notes off of Fragrantica for the Olfactif fragrances because the keynotes are listed on the card. So the story of Bobo, a fragrance within CARNER's Mediterranean collection. Bobo is inspired by the lively and celebratory spirit of the Mediterranean. Fresh, citrusy, and effervescent, Bobo dances with notes of orange flower, bergamot, and mandarin in its opening, giving you bright citrus bursts. The white florals of jasmine and lily come in to add a sense of linen softness, with black currant adding drops of delicate sweetness. With white amber musk in the base, this floral citrus gets a hint of warmth, but still sits perfectly as a summer stunner. So this one has keynotes of orange flower, bergamot, mandarin, musk, and black currant. Now, this is exactly what it says it is. It's very effervescent and bright and citrusy at the top. It's almost like a punch in the face with the sparkliness of it, the fizziness of it, if that makes sense. It almost makes you kind of choke. So let's give this a little spritz. Yeah, it smells like literal orange juice up top, and then it instantly within 5 seconds morphs into this beautiful linen quality, this like jasmine linen quality. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. If this fragrance stayed where it was like 10-15 seconds into the fragrance, I'd be obsessed. Like it's absolutely gorgeous. It's stunning. You can literally second by second like smell the the evolution of this fragrance, and like I said, if it stayed where it is right now, oh my God, total stunner. The problem with this fragrance is that the dry down it dries down into this generic, over citrusy, over sparkly, headache inducing, just kind of disappointment. And I hate to say that, but that's just the way it was for me. I wear tested it on skin, and I was just waiting for this like 30-second in like smell to just kind of take over, and it just disappears, unfortunately. So maybe other people might have a different experience on skin. For me, it just morphed into something that I was just like not impressed by. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's Bobo by CARNER Barcelona. Moving on to the second fragrance, we have a fragrance by a house that the house I have not been impressed with, and I really wanted to be. So I was excited to give this one a try and see if it changed my sentiment at all. But the house is 4160 Tuesdays. It's the quirky London house by Sarah McCartney that names its scents like must-read novels. And the scent is called Creamy Vanilla Crumble. Now, I don't know about you guys, but we just finished like, I don't even know, 90 days straight or over 100 degrees here in Texas. And it's finally dipped under the hundreds. Like it's 93 out today, and I feel like so refreshed. Like I went to get my tan, I went to Sephora, and I was just like, oh my God, I can breathe. Like this feels almost chilly at 93 degrees. And so as much as I personally love hot summers, like I love Texas summers, but I'm also really excited for some cooler weather to come in. I'm not a huge fan of winter, to be honest. I'm not a cold weather person, but I do really love being able to wear gourmands in the fall and winter months. So I am excited to wear this fragrance. Let me read you the story and then the notes. So a golden bottle of creamy custardy goodness. This amber vanilla fragrance is made to last and stays close to the skin, inviting closer inspection. With notes of crumble, hay, and tobacco absolutes, there's a sense of depth to this fragrance that otherwise may have been a little bit sweet and fluffy. Its warmth lends it to an autumn wear, but its fun, sweeter side, do you smell shredded coconut, pushes it towards a late summer feel. A delicious gourmand reminiscent of sugar cookies and your favorite ice cream shop. This sounds fun, right? So keynotes are custard, vanilla, whipped cream, tobacco, and hay. I've only smelled this on this card. I have not worn this on skin yet. I'm waiting for the temps to cool down a little bit. I'm super excited to wear test this. What I smell on the card is phenomenal. So I'm like slightly relieved that there's finally something by this house that I'm like, oh, I can get on board with that. So yeah, it's just beautiful. Like in the beginning, it smells like a coconut meringue pie or something. And then the tobacco and those hay notes start to come out. This is on paper, so we'll see how it does on skin. But on paper, I'm loving this. And they're so right about the sense of depth to a fragrance that otherwise may be too kind of sweet and fluffy. Because yeah, as the tobacco and the hay start to come out, it literally starts to like ground down the fragrance and just, yeah, ground it down. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I say that all the time and I get what it means. I hope you guys get what it means. But yeah, this I'm loving so far. I'm super excited to wear test this. Once it gets under like 75, which will probably be in like November. So we'll see. Okay, and moving on to the final fragrance, which I actually don't even have in my possession anymore. I disliked this fragrance so much that I've already passed it along. I literally sprayed one spray and I was like, nope. Not to say it's a bad fragrance. It just, as you know, if you've been watching my channel for a hot minute, I'm not a huge fan of apple scents in my fragrances, and this has a very strong note of apple, which is why it was a hard pass for me. But this is Chardonnay by Kelly and Jones. Now, I think that there's a couple different renditions of this fragrance, so I'm not actually sure. Oh, here we go. It says in the story. It's a new vintage of their original and flagship fragrance, also called Chardonnay. So if you do decide to give this a sniff, just be conscious that there's like two different Chardonnays. So Kelly and Jones is the Michigan-based artisan house that makes scents inspired by wine and spirits. And if you know, you know, I'm obsessed with wines. Like I have, you know, amazing wines. I love wine. It's one of my passions. And so I was really excited to smell this. I'm really excited to get my nose on the Mezcal fragrances that she has, because I've recently, in the past couple of years, gotten into Mezcal thanks to a trip down to Tulum and experiencing Mezcal for the first time in Tulum. And I was like, oh my God, where has this been all my life? And I just love like the smoky, earthy kind of grittiness of Mezcal. And I'm really excited to get my nose on the Mezcal fragrances that she has. So let's get back to Chardonnay. So this is a long-lasting and not overpowering fragrance. The buttery amber and warm vanilla notes swirl in the bottom of the bottle as the heirloom apple note adds just the right amount of crisp juiciness upon first sniff. Wearing perfume in a California tasting room, sipping on Chardonnay, Jones noticed how her perfume enhanced rather than distracted from the nuances of the wine's bouquet. From there, her journey in perfumery began, which is interesting, right? Like, as much as I love perfume, I've been to a million wine tastings, you guys. Like, when I lived in California, I was wine tasting every weekend, sometimes multiple times a week. I lived in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Santa Cruz actually has its own appellation, which is pretty small and not that well known, but literally produces some of the most incredible small batch Pinot Noirs, like mind blowing. And nobody knows about it because everybody, like, if people are going to go out to California, they're going to go to like Napa, Sonoma. If they want to be like super cool, they're going to go down to Lodi and like be kind of off the beaten path, right? But nobody, well, I'm sure there are people, but most people do not go to Santa Cruz to do a wine tour. And I'm telling you, if you're not doing that, you're totally missing the boat. Some of the wines in Santa Cruz are above and beyond the wines that you'll see in Napa and Sonoma. So yeah, I lived there for 8 years and that was my life. I worked in a couple of tasting rooms. I went to wine school. It was just my life and I miss it. Although in Texas, we do have quite a bit of wineries out here in the Austin Hill Country. Now, of course, they don't come anything close to California wines. Most of them, there are some wines that are great here, but I still get to have that experience. Getting back to my original point, even though I love fragrance so much, I still hesitate to wear fragrances to a tasting. And usually I'll wear like a body mist or just a lotion or something that's a little bit lighter because I don't want the scent to interfere with my nose and my taste, you know, and it's a thing. It's a thing. So it's cool that she had this experience of being able to marry the two. And I love that that's where her journey began. So I will say, like, this fragrance does smell like Chardonnay. Like, it does have those same qualities of Chardonnay. And I will also say, I'm not a huge Chardonnay person. I'm not. Like, I can appreciate a fine oaked Chardonnay. It's literally the last varietal on my list. It's the last thing I'll reach for. I prefer unoaked Chardonnays to oaked Chardonnays. I'll always, if something's a masterpiece, I will always give it a try, right? But it's my least favorite. And so it makes sense that I don't love this fragrance because it is actually kind of a stunning representation of the smell of Chardonnay. So 10 out of 10 for her artistry and creativity, and like a 1 out of 10 for just my own personal taste. So with that being said, if you love the notes of apple, if you love that kind of like oaky apple vanilla butteriness, get your nose on this fragrance for sure. Okay, moving on, we have my monthly scent from Scentbird, and this month I got St. Martin by NATEEVA. Now, I've spoken about the House of NATEEVA in a couple of past videos. I feel like they're extremely underrated. They make fragrances based on islands and tropical places. I wish you guys could see the other side of my camera. Right now, Stewie is in his crate laying upside down, like literally laying like this upside down, snoring away. It's the cutest thing ever. So yeah, they make fragrances inspired by tropical places, and I love the house. I absolutely love it. I'm so thrilled by it. Everything smells so good. It literally reminds you of a tropical vacation, like everything. And nobody talks about them. So I would like to bring more awareness to this brand so that you can get your nose on it too. Let's see. Okay, so St. Martin by NATEEVA was launched in 2016. And the notes in this fragrance are mimosa, orange blossom, musk, hibiscus, jasmine, and amber. I have been wear testing this day in, day out. It's a beautiful, beautiful mimosa fragrance. If you love mimosa, you're gonna love this. This is a beautiful fragrance for those hot summer days. I have noticed, because I've been wearing it while I'm like out and about, like sweating and like running around and doing stuff, I have noticed that it does not have as much lasting power as other fragrances by the house. Specifically, St. Thomas will last like forever on me, forever. It's crazy. But this is beautiful. If you're into yellow florals, this is gonna totally be your jam. It's not as tropical as some of the other fragrances. Now, I don't know, St. Martin, I've never been there. I don't know how tropical it is. I'm assuming it's pretty tropical. But yeah, I almost get more of like a summer in New England kind of vibe from this. But yeah, the mimosa is beautiful. The orange blossom you can definitely smell, but it's kind of taking a backseat to the mimosa. The jasmine is prominent as well. I do get quite a hit of jasmine. The hibiscus, I think, is what's kind of giving it this sort of juicy, like almost watery quality. And then the musk and amber is very much in the background, obviously just kind of like supporting the fragrance. But this is gorgeous. If you're not a fan of yellow florals, you might not like this because it's very mimosa prominent. But yeah, this is a gorgeous like pool perfume. Like I said, I've been wearing it to run errands and do stuff like that, and that's been nice because it's been so hot. I feel like it's been keeping me kind of cool. But this would be a great daytime fragrance, a great beach fragrance, a great pool fragrance. Like basically this fragrance makes me think of being out in the sun and being surrounded by lots of like lush either flowers or greenery, just kind of nature. It's a very beautiful summer fragrance, although I think you could wear this in the spring as well. But yeah, gorgeous. If you have not checked this house out yet, please do so, you guys. I will link their website down below so you can go check them out. The fragrances are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, moving on to my royalty scent for the month. This month I chose Pas ce soir. My French is terrible. This is by BDK Parfums. Parfums. This is by the house of BDK. And I made the mistake, maybe, I don't know if I would call it a mistake, but before I received this, I went on Fragrantica and I read the reviews, and it was interesting like how polarizing some of the fragrances can be. Like a lot of the fragrances that I love are extremely polarizing. It's very interesting. And so, yeah, people said some really interesting things about this fragrance on Fragrantica. If you want to go check out the reviews, you can, but I will just give you my impression of this fragrance. I think that this is absolutely stunning. Now there's something that in it that's not quite making it a 10 out of 10 for me, and I think it's because it almost has this element of I don't know the correct lingo for this because I'm not a perfumer, but there's been a couple of fragrances that I've sampled recently that I'm like, it's not busy, it's a little messy. There's an element of messiness to it. That something's not quite clicking together with the notes. I feel that way about 100 Silent Ways. I feel that way about Mont Blanc's Signature. And although I do love this, I kind of feel the same way about this too. There's something not quite clicking. It's like almost there, but it's not quite because something is just a little bit messy. And so for that reason, I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10, but it's a gorgeous, in my opinion, a gorgeous fragrance. I just remembered that. Side topic, let's talk about this real quick. So went to Sephora today. I have the devastating realization, so dramatic, it's not devastating, but I have been wearing this Kat Von D autograph pencil in Proud Peacock forever, working through the same eyeliner because I do not wear makeup every day, maybe like once or twice a week. And I'm getting to the bottom of it, and I was like, I want to get more of it before I go to my trip, and looked it up online, and it's like, it's no longer available. And I was like, what the hell? So I went to Sephora today and I was like, I need to find a dupe. This is Proud Peacock on the top. We went through all of these. I ended up going with this one. It's an Urban Decay. But we went through all of these trying to find a dupe. Nothing was a dupe at Sephora. Please, if anyone is familiar with the Kat Von D autograph eye pencil in Proud Peacock and you know a dupe for it, oh my God, please link it below. I'll send you a goodie bag. Like I'm desperate. It's my favorite eyeliner of all time. And yeah, I'm excited to try out this Urban Decay. It's not the same color whatsoever, but it's kind of in the similar family, and I picked it because it had the same texture. So yeah, there's that. But anyways, I had her swatch these, and I realized like I had literally just walked out of a spray tan, and I'm like, well, shit. So I'm not supposed to use like soap or anything today. I'm just gonna give myself a rinse at like 11 p.m. and hopefully this will come off when I rinse, but it won't. We know that. So I might have these on my hand for quite some time. Anyways, moving on. Pas ce soir. Let's check out the notes. Okay, so Pas ce soir has top notes of ginger, mandarin orange, and black pepper. Mid notes of quince, Moroccan jasmine, and orange blossom. And base notes of cashmere, amberwood, and Singapore patchouli. Now, I'm a sucker for patchouli. I love it. I love it when it's like, I mean, us that are obsessed with fragrance could pick it out, but you know, you wouldn't like walk by someone, you know, in a grocery store and then be like, oh, you smell like a hippie at Woodstock, right? Like that kind of patchouli, I still kind of like that, but that's like overwhelming, right? That's when like the regular person who's not obsessed with perfume would be like, oh, that's patchouli, right? But patchouli, when used as a grounding element to a fragrance, I'm obsessed. So let's give this a sniff. I know that some people, I think that it's the quince that throws people off with this, perhaps. I really love this. It's really heavy on the ginger and the mandarin orange up top. Like it's a very spicy up top fragrance. And then the quince like starts to kind of come through after a few minutes. This definitely wears better on skin than it does on a strip for sure. I just think this is gorgeous. When I first sprayed it, it kind of reminded me of Delina. Not because it has the same notes or anything, but just sort of that like kind of like tart sweetness that's kind of just like with the fragrance. It has that kind of personality to it. It's a similar personality to Delina, not similar notes, makeup, or DNA, but just like it's got kind of the same like head turning, like, whoa, what is that? Look at me, you know? But this is gorgeous. The orange blossom and jasmine really helps kind of even it out because otherwise it would be a little too citrusy spicy. And then yeah, the cashmere and the amberwood, the patchouli, like it's gorgeous. It's such a different experience on strip than it is on skin. I don't want to spray anything on my skin today because I'm really trying to take the best care of the spray tan as I possibly can, because in the past I've been kind of loosey-goosey with my spray tans and then they end up being all splotchy and looking terrible. So yeah, I'm not going to spray it, but this is gorgeous. If you like this kind of tart, sweet, sort of jammy thing that starts to kind of emanate after a few minutes, and that's the thing that lingers, and that's where the sillage is and all of that, you will love this. This is one of those fragrances that will, if you know, give yourself a good spritz your skin, spritz your clothes, spritz your hair, you're going to smell like this like 3 days later if you don't wash your hair, you know? I think that this is better suited to maybe late summer, fall months. I think it'll be great in the winter. Maybe not super cold temps, but yeah, I see this as more of like a fall fragrance where it's still kind of warm out, but it's like things are starting to get a little crunchy, you know? But yeah, this is beautiful. Okay, you guys, that's it for my fragrance reviews for August. So just a heads up, there will most likely not be a September subscription box review because I need to calm the F down with my samples and decants. And so I'm putting myself, I'm not gonna say I'm going on a no buy because let's be real, I'll probably slip. But I have paused, I've canceled my Olfactif because like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm just kind of like eh. But I've paused my Royalty and my Scentbird just for a couple of months just to give myself some time to get caught up with my samples and to play with things and like just get caught up. I literally feel like I'm drowning in fragrances. I did notice just now I went on to my Scentbird, and I did notice that I hadn't paused that in time, so I do have a scent coming for August. I have a Roberto Cavalli perfume coming, which I've never smelled anything from Roberto Cavalli, so I'm really excited about that. But then after that, it'll be done for a couple of months at least. So just be aware that I won't be filming those videos for the coming months, and I will let you guys know when I resume. So I think that's it, you guys. I have some really exciting videos coming out for you. I am batch filming everything today to prepare for my trip, so I will be bronzed and bare for the next couple of videos. And yeah, I've got some really exciting stuff coming up for you guys. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Say hey in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Have you smelled any of them? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I love hearing all of your opinions on everything that I share. Yeah, so have a beautiful day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. As you guys probably noticed, the past couple of times I'm not taking any notes off of I feel like I just said musk really weird, like musk. Okay, let's give this a sniff. But yeah, this is beautiful. I think that this is